everyone. I'm Tamala Clover, and we are doing another episode of Trailblazers.
My name is Lori Gabriel, and today we're talking about Greta Gerwig. She is an American film director, actress, and writer. She was born August 4th, 1983, to Christine and Gordon Gerwig. The beginning of her life seems somewhat uneventful from an outsider perspective. She grew up in the city she was born in and had a middle class upbringing, and what can only be described as a very nice neighborhood. She is close to her family, who are known to be very supportive of her career. Her mother, Christine, worked as an OB/GYN, and her father worked at a credit union. She has an older brother and sister who have successful careers. She was raised a Unitarian, which is a liberal religious movement characterized by a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Little is known about her early schooling, but Greta has stated that she was an intense child, a quality that can be seen in the things she creates. As a teenager, Greta attended St. Francis High School, a prestigious all-girls college prep Catholic school in Sacramento. She graduated in 2002. Early into her education, Greta showed an interest in dance, an interest that would continue into her adulthood. She also participated in several theater productions as an actress. One hardship that she did encounter during this time was that she had to give up her love of fencing because it just cost too much. After graduating high school, Greta had intended to complete a degree in musical theater in New York. However, she ended up graduating from Barnard College with a degree in English and philosophy. It is hard to say why she shifted, but she did shift her focus to acting. Aside of class, she continued to show interest in the stage. She performed in the Columbia University varsity show with her dorm mate, Kate McKinnon, who Greta later cast in the 2023 film Barbie. And she also wrote plays during this time. So, in case anyone doesn't know, Kate McKinnon is a well known comedy actress from the TV show Saturday Night Live. She's also done several comedy movies with well known famous people. After graduating in 2006, Greta unsuccessfully sought to enroll in a master's program in playwriting. Undeterred, Greta switched to acting when her boyfriend at the time introduced her to filmmaker Joe Swanberg. He cast her in the independent film LOL, styled in a subgenre known as mumblecore, which is characterized by naturalistic acting and dialogue. Sometimes it's improvised. Low budget film production, an emphasis on dialogue over plot, and a focus on the personal relationship with young adults. Joe Swanberg continued working with Greta Gerwig, casting her in the starring role in 2007's Hannah Takes the Stairs. And while few reviewers liked the movie, most were impressed by her performance. This led to her partnering with Swanberg to write, direct, and star with him in Nights and Weekends in 2008. Through these times, she became known as a key figure in the rising mumblecore film movement. Although she had an association with a number of other mumblecore filmmakers and appeared in several films, mainstream success remained elusive. Of this period in her life, Gerwig has said, "I was really depressed. I was 25 in 2008 and thinking, this is supposed to be the best time and I'm miserable. But it felt like acting was happening to me, and I went back to acting classes."
Greta Gerwig had a breakthrough of sorts when she was cast in the 2010 film Greenberg, starring Ben Stiller. After that, she began to get roles that were more conventional. In 2012, Greta co-wrote the film Frances Ha with Baumbach, which she starred in, and received a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical for her performance. The New Yorker wrote, Gerwig may be famed for acting like a non-actor, but she's an extraordinarily accomplished actor, as she proved in Damsels in Distress. And here she puts the movie on her back and carries it from beginning to end, combining the spontaneous inspiration and personal presence of her earlier films. In 2014, her stage performance of The Village Bike was praised by many, despite the show earning mixed reviews. In fact, she received a nomination for Best Actress for the Outer Critics' Choice Award. The New York Times wrote, Miss Gerwig uses the off-balance, open-faced presence to hook us from the moment we set eyes on her. He added, Gerwig turns out to be the perfect person to ride right over the edge of a cliff with. In 2015, her third collaboration with Baumbach for Miss America had generally positive reviews. During this period, she earned a nomination for the Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Supporting Actress for her film role in Jackie and also her role in 20th Century Women. These are examples of how good Greta Gerwig is at taking advantage of opportunities and fostering relationships that go on to help further her career and make each thing her own creation in a deeply authentic way. By the time her debut as a solo writer and director with the semi-autobiographical Lady Bird in 2017, she was by many known for her talented acting. However, writing and directing will be where Greta Gerwig really shines and why she is an inspirational figure. Greta's coming of age story that focuses on the relationship between the title character and her mother had an honesty to it that could make you forget you were watching fiction. It had a raw sincerity and openness that felt refreshing and needed. Gerwig received Academy Award nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay for herself. In addition, Lady Bird also received nominations for Best Actress for Ronin and Best Supporting Actress for Metcalf. This made Gerwig only the fifth woman in Oscar history to be nominated for Best Director. When she found out about the nomination, Gerwig said she was in various states of laughing and crying and yelling with joy. Lady Bird won Golden Globes for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and Best Actress, Musical or Comedy, and also received nominations for Best Supporting Actress and Best Screenplay. In 2019, Greta Gerwig released her adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's classic novel Little Women, something that I read and loved as a young girl, which she both wrote and directed. This is the moment I really took notice of Greta as someone very special. I did not expect much from this film because too often adaptations of classic literature fail to fully capture the spirit of the original work. But Greta Gerwig, however, rose to this challenge and created perhaps the best film I have ever seen. Every choice seemed deliberate, but never forced. She accounted for every detail and somehow managed to add more soul to an already masterful original work by Alcott. For me, though, the real reason Greta Gerwig is a trailblazer is that in this film, she showed femininity in such a profoundly beautiful way that I, and it seems many others, were forced to rethink the narratives about it that we have and that we often experience. It made me see my own femininity in a way that made me feel worthy and seen. In essence, she did what I believe the original novel was intending to do and created an intimate, heartfelt letter of profoundly deep love to women. The film's rapturous reviews led it to receive a number of Oscar nominations, including nods for Best Picture and Adapted Screenplay. However, it was also part of the controversy for that year's Oscars, where no women directors were nominated at all. And all the films were very male-centered films. And People, both critics and public figures and general public, all felt that this was very biased seeming. Natalie Portman actually wore a dress with a bunch of female directors' names on it in protest at that ceremony that year. And it really kind of highlighted to a lot of people that there is still work to be done in Hollywood for getting representation of more than just men's stories made by men, that we need more voices coming through. And that's why being a woman in Hollywood and making it is still a very inspirational thing, because it can still be so very difficult to do. In 2023, Greta released maybe the most unexpectedly brilliant film I have seen, Barbie, which rightfully secures her place as one of the best directors currently working. I'm going to be real honest here. Despite liking her other films, I could not imagine a way for this film to be anything but surface level. I thought it was going to be like Mortal Kombat or Teenage Ninja Turtles or something on that level. I didn't think it could be serious at all or have any kind of depth to it. And me and all the people who were doubting her, we were so wrong, because her unique ability to combine profound insight with rigorous skill in a way that feels inviting and authentic is really seen in this film. In fact, the film is leading to real world impacts where we have little boys asking to play with Barbies and Ken dolls now, and that being normalized, where that was once just seen as a girl's toy. And we have people who are no longer viewing Barbie in such a negative way, which there is still body portion stuff, but people are feeling it's more of an empowering term now and going around and saying what kind of Barbie they are. We even see it impacting people's relationships. A lot of women are feeling very emboldened to set healthy boundaries in relationships and have better expectations of what they want. And even more importantly, perhaps, is that it's opening up a dialogue between men, women, and non binary people about a topic that is historically really difficult for us to approach in a way that feels less scary and more inviting. And that to me makes her much more than just a typical film director. That makes her very much a trailblazer and unique in what she does, and amongst the best of storytellers out there currently. And she manages to take a topic in this movie that people thought was a joke and make it so impactful and intelligent that it really has become more than just a film. Greta Gerwig is more than an actress, writer, or director. She is a warrior for honest evaluation of the world we know, and film is the weapon she chooses to use to invite all of us to see things in new transformative ways. For this reason, Greta Gerwig is my favorite director and a modern trailblazer that truly inspires.
That it's really important for women, binary people, people that are generally marginalized, to have their voices heard in Hollywood because, unfortunately or fortunately, Hollywood does represent us and we represent it. I think that we're so influenced by movies, and if we see ourselves in the movies, we feel that we're being heard. I think that the more people that can, step outside of their comfort zones and be accepted by the film industry or any industry that catered to a specific gender, the more that we do that, the more we're going to break down stereotypes and biases and the judgments that typically occur. So I think I do agree. She's a trailblazer because she is a female director and she's getting people to notice her work, not because she's a woman, but because she is really good at being a director and a writer. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I really see her philosophy degree, and as well as the rigor of the English degree coming through and her all of her work. It's very smart is how I describe it. To me, it shows that she's really like driving where movies are going or could go in the future. and that's very exciting. I think she's picking topics that are interesting. Well, she's picking topics that seem like you're not going to do much with them, and she's making them interesting by adding that element of depth to it, of things that really affect all of us. And I agree that there is room for more voices in entertainment. I think that people want it, and not just the people it would represent. The general public want more, and they want to be invited in and learn about things so that they understand the world around them better too. It does a disservice to everyone when we only give a tiny fraction of what's available in content to people, or we treat them like they're not smart enough to handle things. I think people are very capable and very and more open to new stories than Hollywood sometimes gives people credit for. And I definitely think there's a market for it.
I agree that um, opening doors, it can be challenging, but once you're in that door, you know, share your truth and your honesty in whatever field you're in. So I think this could be one way that can kind of filter into people's lives who are maybe not exposed to different types of personalities and cultures, is through entertainment. And so this is a good way for, if once those voices are being heard, is getting them out there to people. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Please leave a comment to let us know what your thoughts are about Greta Gerwig, her career, where she's going, her acting career as well, and her writing and directing, all of that good stuff. All right. And we'll see you on the next episode.